Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the lies and negativity that seem to surround you? Perhaps there are moments when envy, deceit, or even unseen forces weigh heavily on your spirit, leaving you searching for a way to break free. What if I told you that there's a powerful prayer, rooted in the wisdom of Psalm 111, that can expel these dark forces from your life once and for all? This isn't just another prayer, it's a divine tool that, when prayed with faith and intention, can clear your path, protect you from harm, and restore peace to your soul. Psalm 111 offers us more than just words. It's a promise of God's protection and divine intervention. It's a declaration of gratitude, faith, and trust in a God who is always ready to deliver us from evil. The prayer calls upon God's strength and wisdom to break the chains of negativity, lies, and envy that can entangle our lives. But here's the thing. This prayer doesn't just keep us safe, it transforms us from within, renewing our spirit and bringing us closer to God's guidance. In a world where we often feel powerless against the forces of darkness, this prayer is a beacon of hope. It shows us that we don't have to face our struggles alone. The divine power in Psalm 111 can expel all that is harmful, whether it's the envy of others, the lies we've been told, or the spiritual attacks we can't see. But to experience its full power, you must embrace it fully, not just in moments of distress, but every single day. Ready to unlock the protection, healing, and renewal that comes with this prayer? Let's dive in. Starting with an open heart, the prayer invites you to take a deep breath, allowing your spirit to soften. In this moment, there's no rush, no pressure, just the pure, sacred space to connect with God. It's as if the prayer calls you to surrender the burdens of the day, opening your heart and mind to His presence. Like an angel guiding you through the calm, it's a reminder that this is a time of rest and communion, where every word spoken can lead to a deeper bond with your Creator. In this spiritual space, we are reminded that through prayer, we establish a connection that transcends the earthly. As you pray, you feel that warm embrace of God's love, enveloping you like a shield. This moment isn't about perfect words, it's about the sincerity and depth of your heart. Just like when you read the Bible and the verses speak directly to your soul, this prayer allows the divine to speak in the language of your spirit. The prayer, in its simplicity and truth, welcomes you into a safe space. Here, you can let go of all worries and doubts. It's the start of a conversation, one where you pour out your heart and listen intently. This is not just about asking, it's about receiving too. Angels surround you in this sacred exchange, silently guiding you towards a stronger, more profound faith. What comes next, you may wonder? The next step in this prayer will bring you closer to understanding God's greatness. When you lift your heart in praise, it's not just words, it's a declaration of faith. Invoking Psalm 111, we begin to see the magnitude of God's greatness. His works are not just powerful but eternal, steadfast through time and circumstances. As you pray, your words transform into gratitude, honoring God for His righteous ways and His unwavering faithfulness. Imagine standing on the edge of a vast, beautiful ocean, knowing that this boundless wonder reflects only a fraction of God's magnificence. Each verse in the Bible reminds us of God's greatness, and as you praise Him, you acknowledge that His wisdom and power are far beyond human understanding. Praise, after all, is more than just a formality. It's a key to unlocking peace and trust. Like a light shining through darkness, it shifts your focus from challenges to divine possibilities. In your prayer, you are reminded that even in the face of adversity, God's greatness will never falter. This praise doesn't stop at acknowledgement. It calls for reverence. Just as the angels in heaven glorify God, we too are called to lift our voices in reverence. When we express gratitude for His works, we align ourselves with the eternal truth that God's goodness is the foundation of everything. This moment of praise creates a bridge, connecting you directly to the divine, where all things become possible. So what's next after this moment of awe? The journey towards divine protection and deliverance. As you move forward in this prayer, a powerful plea rises within you, a request for deliverance from all forces that seek to harm, mislead, or darken your path. The prayer asks for freedom from the negativity and falsehoods that sometimes cloud our minds and hearts. Just as the Bible teaches us that God is a protector, this prayer calls for His divine shield, asking Him to guard against the evils that may be lurking, unseen, in the spiritual world around us. It's as if you are being enveloped in a celestial armor, with angels standing guard at every corner, protecting you from spiritual curses and unseen traps. Deliverance is not only about protection from external forces, but also about healing from within, where envy, hatred, and bitterness no longer hold power over you. Through this prayer, God's protective mantle is offered to you, ensuring that no harm will prevail against His will. This plea for deliverance recognizes that there are battles we face that can only be fought in the spiritual realm. As you pray, you are reminded that God's strength is greater than any adversary. It's a call for His heavenly sword to strike down evil forces that seek to disrupt your peace. The moment you ask for this divine intervention, you open yourself to receiving God's protection and guidance in ways you may not even be aware of. And so, as the prayer continues, it will shift focus toward the healing power that only God can provide. What comes next is the restoration of your inner peace. In the next phase of the prayer, there's a profound request for inner healing, a desire to restore what has been broken within. It's the part of us that aches from past wounds, the emotional scars that we sometimes hide deep within. With each word spoken, you invite God's divine touch to heal these areas, bringing restoration to your soul. Just as a weary traveler seeks rest, you too seek the peace that only God can provide. Through this prayer, you begin to feel your spirit becoming lighter, like the weight of past hurts is being lifted by the hand of the divine. In this process of healing, God's presence becomes the ultimate source of renewal. You pray for mental clarity, for peace of mind amidst the storms of life, like an angel offering comfort. This prayer seeks to restore not just the body, but the very essence of your being. It's in these moments that God provides the strength to move forward, offering peace where there once was chaos. The Bible teaches that when we are weak, God is strong, and through prayer, we tap into that divine strength. This inner healing process is not an overnight fix, but a continual journey, one where you come to rely more on God's wisdom and less on your own understanding. The prayer asks for faith to believe in the restoration of your soul, knowing that God is always there, guiding you through the darkness toward the light of His healing love. But what is it that truly leads us toward complete renewal? It's the breaking of spiritual chains, which we'll explore next. As the prayer continues, there's a powerful declaration that you are ready to break free from the chains that bind you. These chains aren't just physical, they are spiritual, emotional, and mental. It's the negative cycles, the patterns of pain and struggle that often feel impossible to escape. But in this prayer, you claim your freedom, rejecting all forms of oppression and the invisible forces that have kept you trapped. It's a decisive moment where you say enough is enough, and you open your heart to God's power to renew you. The prayer also recognizes that spiritual traps are often invisible, lying beneath the surface of everyday life. Sometimes, these traps are formed by our own choices, while other times, they come from external influences. But God's power, greater than anything we face, has the ability to shatter these traps and create a new pathway forward. As you pray, you begin to feel a sense of release, as if burdens that once felt so heavy are being lifted. In this moment, your spirit is reborn, filled with new courage, gratitude, and serenity. Breaking these chains isn't just about rejecting evil. It's about embracing a new way of being. Through this prayer, you invite divine renewal into your life, asking God to fill you with the spiritual strength you need to move forward. It's not an instant transformation, but it's the beginning of a journey toward true spiritual freedom. As this renewal process unfolds, it naturally leads to a deeper connection with God's wisdom and guidance, which will be the next focus of our prayer. The prayer now shifts to reaffirming a sacred covenant with God, a promise to stay connected with Him despite the trials that may come. It's a vow to walk His path, even when the journey feels difficult. In this moment, you recognize that your life is not just your own, but belongs to God, who guides you with wisdom beyond your understanding. As you pray, you ask for the strength to remain faithful and the wisdom to live according to His will, trusting that His direction is always the best path, no matter where it leads. In this prayer, you are also asking for divine wisdom to navigate the complexities of life. The Bible teaches us that wisdom comes from God, and through prayer, we invite that wisdom to dwell within us. It's about recognizing that the answers we seek are not always found in our own intellect, but in the guidance of a higher power. Like a compass leading you through a storm, divine wisdom helps you stay on track, even when everything around you seems uncertain. It's in this wisdom that you'll find the courage to face challenges with grace. This covenant is more than a simple promise. It's a deep, spiritual commitment. You're asking God to empower you with the ability to not only understand His will but to live it with conviction. The prayer calls for strength to persevere when life's obstacles seem overwhelming, knowing that with God's wisdom, you are never alone. As you move forward, the prayer will lead you to a deeper understanding of God's presence as a refuge, offering shelter during the darkest times. What does this refuge look like in your life? Let's explore that next. As the prayer progresses, we arrive at one of the most comforting aspects of the divine, God's presence as a refuge. It's in times of turmoil, doubt, or emotional exhaustion that His presence becomes the shelter we so desperately need. Imagine a storm raging outside, and then, within the warmth of a home, you find peace. That is what God offers, a place of safety amidst the chaos. His presence doesn't just protect you, it restores your soul, making you whole once again. When the world feels heavy and your spirit feels burdened, God's refuge is where you can rest. It's not just physical shelter, it's a spiritual and emotional sanctuary. As you pray, you're reminded that His love covers all, His grace shields you, and His mercy wraps around you like a warm blanket. Just as angels surround you with divine protection, God's presence is a fortress that cannot be broken, no matter how intense the battles you face may seem. In times of trial, it's easy to feel like you're alone, but this prayer reminds you that God is always near, ready to be your refuge when you seek Him. It's not about escaping life's challenges, but finding peace in the midst of them. His presence provides a strength that you won't find anywhere else, offering you the courage to face each day with renewed hope. The invitation now is to carry this refuge with you daily, nurturing your spiritual practice and drawing closer to God's light. So, how can you invite this divine presence into your everyday life? Let's look at how you can continue nurturing your spirituality next. Now that you've uncovered the immense power of Psalm 111, it's time to ask yourself, how will you let this prayer shape your life? Are you ready to break free from the negative cycles and forces that have been holding you back? Imagine the transformation that can take place when you actively invite God's protection, wisdom, and healing into your daily routine. This isn't just about reciting words. It's about creating a deeper connection with the divine, one that shields you from the evil that seeks to disrupt your peace. Don't let these transformative words remain just words on a page. Make them a part of your life. Pray with intention, believe in the protection they offer, and watch as God's power unfolds in your life, driving away all lies, envy, and negativity. And as you continue your spiritual journey, ask yourself, what else can you do to align more closely with God's will? What other steps can you take to invite His peace and wisdom into your everyday actions? If you're ready to make this prayer a part of your routine and unlock the protection and renewal it offers, don't wait any longer. Subscribe to this channel and activate notifications to continue discovering prayers, wisdom, and guidance that will transform your life. Share this message with those you care about, and let's build a community grounded in divine truth and spiritual strength.